All right. So for Thursday, Thursday for B-Day students is going to be similar to Tuesday for A-Day students. Yesterday, I went over a lot of background information about To Kill a Mockingbird, and we'll start reading that on Friday. So I'll talk about that more on Friday. But for Thursday, I want students to focus on working on their narrative essay. So remember, the narrative information is under week 3, Friday. And also, we are starting new vocabulary. So I want to switch back and forth between starting on an A day versus starting on a B day. So it's a little more fair, and it's not just, A day students always do this and B day students always do this. So I'm going to start talking about vocabulary list number 2 today. And the quiz for vocab 2 is going to end up being next Tuesday. So last time B-Day students took the quiz in class. This time A-Day students will take the quiz in class. All right, so vocabulary 2, 10 new words for you. And our first one is abolition, which is the elimination or the cancellation of something. So you may have also heard the verb form to abolish. This is just the noun form of that word. So before slavery was abolished, it was common to refer to people who wanted to eliminate slavery as abolitionists because they were in favor of the elimination or the cancellation of slavery. For our second word, benediction, if someone gives you their benediction, they are giving you their blessing or their approval. So, gentlemen, someday perhaps you will want to propose to a lovely young lady or whoever, and you will seek out the blessing, the approval of your future father-in-law. You also may attend a church service, and at the end of the church service, perhaps the priest or the pastor will give out his benediction, his blessing to the congregation. Now, the third one, catastrophe. So sometimes we'll get this vocabulary word when something particularly catastrophic is going on, a hurricane or fires in Australia or anything like that, kind of natural disasters and ruins. I think it would be easy to say that coronavirus has been kind of a global catastrophe and has deeply affected many countries, our own included. So something terribly, awfully catastrophic and ruinous. The fourth one, delinquent. So a delinquent is a lawbreaker or a criminal. Now, you may have heard the term juvenile delinquent before, and that means you have a juvenile, a young person under 18 who is a lawbreaker or criminal, but just the general term delinquent is anyone who is a lawbreaker or criminal or has done something illegal. The fifth one, entice, is to attract or lure in some way. Now, a lot of times when I give the definition, people immediately think of fishing because you use a fishing lure to attract fish. So that is a way to entice them so that they will bite onto your hook and you may catch them. The sixth one, fray. Just note that this one is a noun. So it is a brawl or a fight. It is not to brawl or to fight. So you cannot fray someone, but you can get into a fray with someone. Seventh one, hoodwink, to cheat or to trick. There was a movie that came out, I don't know, maybe a decade ago now, that was about what's her name? Little Wolf, Red Riding Hood, Little Red Riding Hood, and it was called Hoodwinked because the wolf in the movie tries to trick her into thinking that he is her grandma. So that is a trick. The eighth one, illiterate, describes someone who is uneducated and cannot read or write. So it was common back in the Great Depression time when a lot of people were illiterate. Some people didn't even know how to write their own name, and they had to sign with an X rather than writing out their name because they were not educated enough to write out their name. The ninth one, meditate, To meditate is to think deeply or to ponder about something. So you may think of meditation, which is, the sitting still, crossed legs, kind of thing. But really, anytime that you're thinking deeply about something, that qualifies as meditating about it. You're turning the idea over in your mind, really giving it some thought. And the 10th word, obsolete. Something that is obsolete is ancient or old-fashioned. So I always think of technology when I think of things that are obsolete. Payphones are pretty obsolete. Everyone has a cell phone these days. Typewriters are obsolete. We all have computers these days. So lots and lots of items that no longer are relevant in our life. Now, one thing to note is that when you describe something as obsolete, it has kind of a connotation of it being useless. So it's so old-fashioned that there's no reason to use it anymore. So make sure that you do not use this term to describe a beloved elderly person in your life. They will not be complimented. So it's not so much, oh, my mom's so old-fashioned, she's so obsolete. You don't want to imply that your mother or your grandmother, whoever, is useless. That would be inappropriate. So not really used in that sense, but that is vocabulary 2, and the rest of our time we'll be working on the narrative.